Hey, it's Jave Patterson on demand. Doug Knuth, always great to see you. Thanks very much for coming in. Athletic director with University of Nevada and the Wolfpack. Man, a big game. You know, I've been here 20 years. I don't think I've ever seen such an explosive beginning with Purdue coming to town. Tell me what to expect.
Yeah, it's going to be a big-time game, and you've been here 20 years and probably haven't seen a Big Ten team come here because it's only the second time ever they've had a Big Ten team come to Mackey Stadium, come to Reno. So a huge opportunity for us. Friday night at 6:30. It's going to be an electric game. It's going to be a fun game because both teams can get up and down the field, right? So Purdue, for those listening that maybe not know, Purdue's got one of the most electric wide receivers.
Yeah, Rondell Moore.
And he's as a true freshman last year, he was an All-American. That doesn't happen very often. So he's incredibly special, and he's one of those guys that every time he touches the ball, he can go to the house, as they say. I mean, he can change a game. He can score every time he touches it. So dangerous player, and hopefully we've got a game plan to keep the ball out of his hands or keep it away from him as much as possible.
That's what I was going to say. What does Coach Norvell do to prepare the Pack for somebody like Rondell, who can be so explosive and who's not a super big guy?
Right, yeah, he's 5'8", and so he's just a burner. He's quick. And, Coach, they've been watching video on him for probably 5 months now, right? So ever since the end of last season, they turned their attention to next season, the 2019 season, and Purdue's first up. So I'm sure they've been watching him a lot. I'm sure they know his tendencies. I'm sure they know, his leans. I'm sure they know everything about the guy. If he sneezes, they know. So we'll be ready for him. He's a kickoff return guy too, which is obviously there's a little more. You can direct kicks and kick away from him if you have to, and so we'll do our best to contain him. Because I think he's one of those kind of guys you can't stop him. You just have to minimize his touches and minimize what he's doing. He's going to get his yards probably though. Yeah. But good news is Wolfpack's got some answers for that too on the offense. So.
And speaking of that, the Wolfpack basketball team has been so impressive over the past several years. So impressive, in fact, that you decided to move half of them over to the football team. No, in all seriousness, tell me about our receivers on the Pack. A pretty impressive lineup.
Yeah, we've got. I mean, if you look at our guys, and if they weren't wearing uniforms, you'd think they were playing for the Pac-12 or some Pac-12 school. We've got two guys that are 6'4". We've got a guy who's 6'5", and we've got one receiver 6'6". I mean, it looks like the basketball team out there, and these guys can go up and get it. They're athletic, they're quick, they're big, and Coach Norvell talks about in his 25, 28 years of coaching, this is the tallest wide receiving group that he's ever had. And, at a Mountain West school, that doesn't happen normally. Your wide receivers are 6 feet, 6'2", maybe 6'3" every once in a while. But to have guys that look like that and can play, pretty darn special. And the neat thing is they're all young. I mean, these are freshmen and sophomores that are talented and, like I said, get up and down the field and they can get after it. So this year looks like it's going to be fun, but the future looks great too.
Hey, we talk a lot about culture within our building here, but tell me about the culture on the team within the program that Coach Jay Norvell has been able to kind of develop there.
Yeah, this is one of the special things about the program, and fans don't see it, but and I wish they could because it's something that you really could get on board with. But what Jay Norvell has built is this really great culture of leadership and accountability. And the neat thing is it's not accountability to the coaches, but it's accountability to each other as players. And most people know in the sports world, if you're a sports fan, that the kind of notion is like a player-led team or a player-led team, always better than a coach-led team. And that's what Coach Norvell has been building, is these players are accountable to each other. And that's in the off-season workouts, it's in practice every day, and certainly in games. That's the culture we're building, what Jay has been building. It's pretty special, and that will result in wins. I mean, that kind of thing makes a difference. The best teams, whether it's basketball or football or soccer or whatever else, every coach will tell you that their best teams they ever had were teams that were led by the seniors or led by the star player or led by the players themselves. So I'm excited Jay's building that because that'll be good for us for a long, long time.
I think it was maybe Jackson who once told his team that it's not necessarily the team with the most talented players that wins the most. It's the team that makes the fewest mistakes. Do you believe in that type of ideology?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the coaches can only do so much. Once you get on the field or once you get on the court, the players determine who's going to win, and there's a desire factor. I mean, you've got to want it more than the other guys, the other team, and I don't know how you measure that and how you know that, but that's a part of building that culture that you're there and you're so driven and you have so much desire that you're going to figure out a way to win. And you're going to figure out a way to do it because you care about the guy next to you,
right?
And whichever side of the ball you're on, you're trying to help and support your teammates and make sure that they're in a position to win. And if you're all doing that, you got a better chance to win.
A lot of folks here in Reno have recently relocated here. Maybe will be their very first Wolfpack game. Hate to single anybody out, but let's single someone out. If you're going to watch one person on the Wolfpack team, who is the one to watch this year, do you think?
You can't do that to me.
I know, they're all your kids.
Let me just give three real quick,
okay,
right?
That works.
So Toa Tawa is our returning running back, and he was a freshman of the year last year as a true freshman. He is a tough, I use the word nasty. He's the nicest guy in the world, but he's got this kind of chip on his shoulder. He runs downhill, as they say. He's physical. He's tough. He's a difference maker. He's a special runner. So he's fun to watch. The wide receivers, which I mentioned, they're tall. They're fast. We got a good group there. And then the one that everyone's going to watch because of the nature of the sport and the nature of the position is the quarterback. Right. So we have a true, not a true freshman. We have a redshirt freshman quarterback, Carson Strong, and he's 6'4", 225 pounds.
Wow.
He's a sophomore in school, but he's a true freshman playing wise. He hasn't played and thrown a ball in college yet, so we're all sort of waiting to see what it looks like, because in practice, he throws darts. I mean, he throws rockets. He's got a beautiful arm, and the ball just spins off it perfectly. And so he and the receivers have done a lot of work in the offseason, and they're kind of in tune with each other. And so I'm anxious to see Carson, but he's got a great supporting cast around him, because quarterback can't do everything. He's Brett Favre maybe can maybe win a game by himself, but Carson's got a great running back behind him, and he's got great wide receivers around him, and he's got a great offensive line. So it should be a pretty special year for all of those guys: wide receivers, the running backs, and obviously the quarterback. So there's your three to watch for the year.
Dynamite. Doug Knuth, Nevada Athletic Director, thank you so much for coming in. Yeah. People want to get tickets. Best way to do it is?
Easy, all right? Phone number is 348-PACK. That's P-A-C-K, 348-PACK. Or if you want to actually pick out tickets, pick out seats, go online. It's really easy, NevadaWolfpack.com. Click on tickets, and you can pick out some tickets. So appreciate the opportunity. Awesome Absolutely. Talking to you, and go Pack.
Go Pack.